Hi, I'm Nikki Woods, and we are going beyond the studio on blackamericaweb.com with Miss India Arie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. We have the new album out, Songversations.
Yes.
So tell me about that and why you took such a break, I guess, from being in the studio and producing an album.
Well, a couple things of clarity. So it's called Songversation.
No S.
Yes, Songversation.
So when you Google,
So when you Google, don't put that S on the end.
thank you.
And also, I didn't really take a break from recording. I was just taking a break from the public eye. I had been working on an album much of the time I was away. That album just didn't come out.
Gotcha.
That was called Open Door. And I shelved it at the end of November, which was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But it also showed me how much I had grown, that I was able to let it go when it wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And November 1st, I started working on Songversation because I was ready to be back out again, and I needed music to do that. So with Open Door, the readiness of the music was going to dictate me getting back out there again. And this time, my readiness dictated the music getting done, which is actually, I have learned a better way to do it than just, the album's done, let's go. Then you get out on the road, and it's hard on the road. Any musician will tell you that. And it's hard when you're not ready. Just because the album's ready doesn't mean you're ready.
You're ready.
So for the rest of my career, I've made a promise to myself that I would make the music ready when I was ready. And now that I know I can do an album this fast, I'm going to always do it that way.
So tell me, because I'm fascinated when I listen to you talk. I watched you on when you were on Oprah and you did your two-part interview. Mm-hmm. And I'm fascinated with you when you talk because you seem to be, well, you don't seem, you are so present and you are so aware and you're quick to make sure that everybody else is aware, just like you clarified things for me. Where does that come from? Because I mean, it obviously is rooted in a very strong self-esteem, and it's not one that we see in African American women, especially African American teenagers. Where did you get that strong sense of self from?
It's funny because I think I had it growing up and I lost it for a while. Mm-hmm. And because I had to work my way back to it, now I honor it with so much of myself that whoever I'm talking to, I bring myself. Because, with Oprah, you don't correct Oprah, but I did a couple times. Not that I was right or she was wrong, but just about details about things. Because no matter who I'm with, I know that I'm meant to be there and that I'm worthy of speaking my truth. But I'm making it sound like it's a simple thing, but because when I came into the public eye, I was like, whoa, everybody's watching. And then I would be afraid to say certain words because what if that's not exactly the word? Or I would be afraid to express certain spiritual ideals because what if people think I'm crazy if I tell them I hear my spirit guides? What if they think I'm crazy or whatever? And that inability to speak my truth made me sick physically.
Wow.
And so I don't ever want to feel like that again. And so now that the strength behind my desire to be understood and to understand people and to have conversations and be present, and the strength behind it comes from the desire for wellness and to have that baseline, like I talked about on Super Soul Sunday, that baseline feeling of well-being, even when you're kind of tired, even when you got something going on. You can have big something going on. You could be breaking up with somebody or big stuff. But I always was lacking that baseline feeling of well-being where it's just everything's okay right there in the middle of my heart. I didn't have that for a long, long time.
Right.
And a lot of it was because I couldn't just speak my mind. And so now I just do all the time. All the time. And I don't just walk around saying stuff to people, but if somebody wants to talk to me, I'm going to be myself and bring myself to it.
And I love that you said that just that knowing you're worthy of being there.
That is
just because you're
in word.
It's huge. So many women, especially African American women, we walk into the room apologizing for who we are and we play small instead of just being who we are in the world and bringing that greatness with us. So saying that, I hope that strikes a chord with a lot of people out there that are listening.
It's funny, I get chills when I'm thinking about it before I even say it, because I obviously I'm a singer and a songwriter, but I'm a writer too. Mm-hmm. And some of the things I publish and some things I just write because I have to get it out. But I write a lot, like every day, a lot.
Yeah.
And I do that because when I write, I'm able to hear myself think, and it gets more and more clear. I'm able to crystallize my ideals and my ideas about things. And I wrote in my journal not long ago the cocoa butter thing, because I was like, what? I wrote out the question, what is the bottom line of this? Because, there's the whole colorism issue and all that, but what is the real bottom line? And what I came to it could change where I am right now, is that the bottom line is about worthiness. Because, colorism is about you're more or less worthy based on how light or dark you are, based on how good or nappy your hair is. You're more or less worth. You are worth, literally, more or less in a historical sense. And so we carry that to this day. And that's how I came to that word. And for me, I realized that the part that made me laugh is that everybody's worthy. Everybody is. It's not even like you have to even think about it. And so for me, there are still times, obviously, because, life is big and dynamic and you have a lot of things that go on that you never thought would have ever happened, and you have to adjust in a moment's notice all the time. Right. And that's one of my mantras now. Like, I'm worthy because everybody's worthy. I don't even have to go into I'm worthy because I've worked hard or because, I'm a good person. I try to be a good person. All that is true.
You just show up worthy.
I'm worthy because everybody is worthy. Everybody is. It just is. And even when you don't feel that you are, if you could say that to yourself and just act like you are and let the things begin to fall in place. Like, so you act, so you feel, so you are.
You are.
Because this morning, Tom Joyner's early. And I think you saw me. Did you see me when I came in? I was like, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
How y'all doing? Y'all ready to get this? It was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it can be 3 o'clock and it's working.
You did great.
It's working.
Did great. So let's talk a little bit about the colorization thing. I mean, you talked about it on the show with Tom, and I saw what your response was to Oprah. And I was tickled that the thing that really upset you was just the words that people use to express themselves. Yeah. But how did you feel when you got so much backlash when people thought that you had lightened your skin for your album cover for Songversation? No S.
Here I go again.
Yeah.
The album cover for Songversation is a different picture. That was the one in the
It's
pink.
the
Did
single.
You see that?
Yes. It's beautiful. I saw it walking in here. I was like, didn't I stop and rant? I was like, that's a gorgeous dress.
I love it. My mom made it again, as always. She made the cocoa butter.
I never had that. My mom sewed too and would make us sew, but I never had that experience with
high-end designer.
Right. I look at clothes like, really? Seriously,
thanks,
Mom?
For the apron. No. So it was a single cover for Cocoa Butter.
Thank you.
And some people, I wanted to clear that up because some people assumed that I was trying to make a point about cocoa butter lightening scars or whatever, which I wasn't. But I felt a lot of things. There were layers of it. At first I was like, whoa, everybody's talking about it. Because I had been gone for so long that it was like, how am I going to get people's attention again? Mm-hmm. And it was like, whoa, everybody's talking about it. That was fun for a couple days. And then it was like, how'd they go a million miles down the road with what I'm thinking? Because then the story became, you lighten your skin because you don't like yourself, and you lighten your skin because you wanted to get more play in the music industry. You bleached yourself for that. And I was like, where'd that story come from?
Right.
None of those things ever crossed my mind because I don't think they would work anyway, honestly. Right. And then I started thinking deeper, like, okay, what is the lesson here for me? Because what is this? And that was the epiphany that I had on Super Soul Sunday. It really happened in that moment because I was just like, why? As hard as I've ridden for the Black community all these years, and I came out, I was 23, so I was bringing that message at 23, and I didn't really even know the possibility of the impact. I just hoped it would have an impact. Right. I didn't know. I was just doing it, and a lot of times it made me less commercially viable, but I was still doing it because I believed in it. So I've been riding hard for the Black community all these years, and now all of a sudden I bleached myself. I'm like, you didn't even ask me if I did. You just told me I did, and that made me feel like, whoa, that was like the third layer. Then when I finally just went into myself and asked why, the answer I got was that I needed to work on my own sense of judgment towards other artists who don't have the same philosophy that I do. And I have been. And it's funny, too, because I realize now that you never know what anybody's going through. Nobody ever asked me even if I did it. And so I'm like, y'all, you never even know. You don't know me or what I was thinking about this picture or why we chose it. You don't know, but you make assumptions. And that's what I do a lot with other artists. I have my philosophy about the power of words and what it all means and how you should use your public forum. But that's for me. And however anybody else chooses to approach their career is for them. And one of the things I love most right now, musically, is Snoop Lion.
Really?
Because if you think, have you heard it?
Yes.
That's the thing. Did you listen to the album?
Yes.
I love it. And I love it because, I love it musically too, but I'm a singer. So when you hear somebody who you don't know as a singer who has good pitch and they can sing the notes, it's always very impressive, like Mos Def or CeeLo. We didn't know CeeLo sang for a long time. And so I love that's one of my things as a singer. What I also love about it on a spiritual level is watching a person take a chance at transforming. That's a big chance.
It is a big chance.
You
and I guess
money being Snoop Dogg. That's how you feed your family. And you are willing to sacrifice all that because you want to make a spiritual shift. And whether or not you think it's authentic or whatever, whether or not, he still did it. And anybody who's ever met Snoop, he's the most open-hearted dude that you ever meet. So now the music matches, and I think that's beautiful. But in my point in all that is, you never know who anybody really is or what they're going through or why they do things. But I have been very, very judgmental of people, and so I'm working on it. I mean, I got judged. Like, they thought I was trying to be the thing that I judged. So those are a lot of the things that I thought. And I don't really think about it anymore now, because it was like for a long time, like, what is it, just rolling around in my head for a long, long time. And so I think I reached the bottom line of it for me. But for real, the bottom line, what we just talked about, is worthiness. If you don't have it in you, you can't project it. So we in the Black community have this cultural pain, and we project it onto other people.
Yeah.
And, in my mind, we can take a big leap in the healing of that just because of where we are in this moment in time. But we forget that we can continue to define ourselves. We just forget because we hold on to stuff so long. It's just how I am. It's how my family is. It's what we do.
It's what we
how
do.
We eat. This is, it doesn't have to be that. You can we make new traditions every day, but we don't remember that we can. So I hope to write a song that will shift something. I don't have the song yet, but.
Well, we'll be waiting.
Man,
we'll
me too. I'm waiting for it to come through.
But until then, we will enjoy Songversation. Thank you, Miss India Arie. You can go and check out her performance live in the Red Velvet Cake. That is also on blackamericaweb.com.
Velvet Cake, I love that.
Tom, so Alabama. I'm Nikki Woods. We've gone beyond the studio with India Arie.